Hello, welcome back to Bite-Sized Moments with AJ. Today I'm talking about why it is easier to push through than it is to stop and restart. So something that we run into a lot of times with clients and even with our own items is, you get into doing a podcast, a series of videos, blogging, social media, weekly lives, any number of things that aren't tied directly to monetary value in most of these cases. And you get really good momentum going. You grow in followers, you grow in viewers, you grow in readers, subscribers, whatever metric you're using. And, every time you put out something, you have people consuming that product. And then something happens. It can be something as mundane as the holidays hit and you're busy. It can be something great, like you have an influx of business and you're busy. It can be something devastating, like the loss of an employee and you're busy. Or something in your personal life happens and you don't have the emotional energy to carry on as many things. Not necessarily busy in that case, but you don't have the mental or emotional resources to handle it. And the next step is usually that you're like, all right, well, I'll put this on hold. This thing isn't making me money directly. It's, you've lost sight of how it's helping the business. And it's the easiest thing to put on pause. It's the easiest thing to get off your plate. But then, a few months go by and you're like, all right, we've recovered, we've hired someone new, we've gotten through the holidays, I've gotten some of my emotional energy back, whatever it is, you've gotten to the other side of whatever made you stop producing. And you get back at it, and before you had stopped, you had regular viewers. You had hits on your website every time you posted a blog. You had people interacting with that content every time you posted. And now suddenly it's not working. There aren't people watching your streams. There aren't people reading the blogs. It doesn't seem like your posts are getting any engagement. So what happened? Algorithms are built to make money. All of them, from Google to Facebook to Instagram to Twitch to YouTube. They are there to make their platform money. And one of the things that they look at as you are scaling up and as they show you to more people is your consistency, is whether or not you are a dead channel. They don't really know the difference between someone who hasn't posted in a couple months because they're planning to come back to it and someone who's just given up entirely. So what do? They deprioritize things. And there's a lot more technical things that go into it, but basically you're not being shown to the same number of people that you build up beforehand. That pause that for you was only a couple of months signaled something to them that you were done. And it's really hard to build that momentum back up. With any sort of content, it's not a faucet that you can turn off and on. You turn it on, you let it run, and if you turn it off, it's more like you have to reprime the pump and get things flowing again. It's going to take time. So what can you do? Because stuff happens. Stuff happens in life, and it's understandable why this is the easy thing to push off. You don't want to push off work that's directly making you money. You push off the things that you do as, a way to support over here. Especially if you're busy, especially if you have a lot of work, you might be thinking, you know what, I can't handle another client right now, so why am I doing something that gets my name in front of more clients? But there are better ways to go about it. So the first tip, if you are overwhelmed, is always to scale back before you shut off. So if you are going once a week and you are finding that to be unsustainable, then cut down to once every other week, the very, very least once every 3 weeks. That'll make it seem like things are still coming. You still have a level of consistency and it'll be easier to scale back up. You are still going to take a loss. but it'll be one that's a little easier to recover from. The second thing you can do is be honest with the people that you are reaching about what is happening in your life. You don't need to share all of the details, but you can say, guys, things have gotten busy, so today's live stream isn't going to be so long. Instead of doing an hour, I'm going to do 20 minutes. Instead of, writing a 1,500 word blog, I'm going to write 300 words. But you're still getting out there at the same time. You're still promoting things. You're still moving forward. And by sharing with people why you've scaled back, you're also setting their expectation. So if there's a sudden plummet in quality, people do notice, or quantity. People do notice, and they do wonder. And it is better for you to give them an answer than for them to assume an answer 9 times out of 10. And so I do encourage you to be a little transparent with people about why things are going the way they're going. Now, in some cases, you can't help what is happening. There are cases where it's just not feasible to get it done. You have to shut it off, at least for a time. I do recommend making some sort of post that basically says, my house burned down. I'm not going to be able to post for a while I get things straightened out. Appreciate all of your thoughts. We'll keep you updated. That's a very serious example, but just that little bit of I do intend to come back to this, letting your audience know. And what that does is it primes them to look for your return, so that if they're subscribers to your YouTube channel, when they see that notification come up, they get excited that you're coming back. They want to know what's next, what happened. They want you to fill them in on all of the piping hot tea. So that's one approach that you can do if you do have to cut back. And then also, when you go to relaunch, if you've had to cut off completely, do a whole campaign around it. Build excitement, our show is returning in 1 month. Are you ready? Get ready for this date. Normally we just edit and post. We're going to go live for our first one back. Build up that hype so that you re-enter the arena with people ready to come watch that aren't relying on the algorithm. A lot of things, you don't want to rely on the algorithm completely. I'm a big fan of SEO. I'm a big fan of organic traffic. I'm a big fan of reaching the people you need to reach because you are appealing to them. Like I said, the algorithms are there to make money. They're not there to serve you. And so if you cannot avoid misstepping and taking a hit from them, work around them. By them seeing you re-entering whatever space you were in, wherever you were posting, with people primed and ready to come and view your content, they are more likely to start showing you faster. YouTube is the easiest one for me to set this example with, so that's what I'm using. But if you are going live on YouTube once a week, you stop for a while, but you have a lot of people's email addresses, you've done marketing campaigns where they've downloaded stuff from you, and you know that a lot of your customers are looking for you there and are watching that show, reach out to them via email. Run a Facebook ad about the return. Draw those eyes in. And even though you haven't posted in 6 months, all of a sudden, yes, we're back. Today's the day. All of these people come and see it. And because you have all of those eyes on it, you're going to have people watching. And that's going to signal for the algorithm to turn it back on and kind of jumpstart it a little bit. You're priming the pump. So, yeah. And then the other thing is, once you stop doing something, it's really hard to regain your motivation for keeping going. You see this a lot with people working out. So regardless of the algorithm, if you had been posting once a week and you stop altogether for 6 months, you're going to find yourself pushing back that launch date as much as you can. Now, announcing that launch date to people helps with this too, because now you have accountability to those people that you're expecting to show up. But it's really hard to find your motivation again. I said in another video earlier this week, late last week, to make something a priority until it's a habit. And once something becomes a habit, it's easy to keep the habit going. It's easy to push through because that's what you do every day. or every week. You've incorporated it. But once you take that habit out, something is going to fill that vacuum. You're going to have a new habit there that now you have to reevaluate its priority, or you have to root it out and you have to break a bad habit to get that good habit back in there. And you're going to find yourself deprioritizing that thing that had become a habit. So you have to start over again with yourself, making that a priority until it becomes a habit again. So if at all you have the option to keep going, if there's any way to just plod through, even if it's not your best work, you can always take it down later. You can always go back and say, I hate these 3 videos. I hate these posts. And you can remove them, but you haven't lost your momentum in producing. You haven't lost your momentum in the algorithm, and you can just keep going and regain the quality that you once had. So, yes. That is my 2 cents on why you should keep going and never stop completely. If you have any questions on producing any sort of content, please reach out and let me know. I love producing content and I like getting better at it. So I'm happy to help you do that as well. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.